Live from JROOT Radio in New York. This is the Kishroni Hour. I'm Moshe Grunfeld here with Nisim. Thank you, Nisim. You know our motto, no talent rejected, no child refused. To participate, call 718-683-5858, text 347-927-8398. And to listen, 712-432-4217, 718-506-9099, or on the J Radio app or on Naki Radio. Answer to last week's riddle question: why did the firstborn of the animals die? It actually wasn't last week; it was 2 weeks ago. Because the Egyptians, the Mitzrayim, worshipped them as getchkas, idols, and when Hashem punishes a nation, He also punishes its getchkas. This week's parsha question: Yisro had 7 names. Why was one of them Yeter? He had 7 names, and we want to know why was his name Yeser. You can text in the answer all week long, 347-927-3279. And you can send your mazel tov to the same number, 347-927-3279. Mazel tov to the Glumbeck family, mazel tov to the Mendelssohn family on the engagement, mazel tov to Nati Fuchtwanger on the bar mitzvah. And without further ado, we go to our guest tonight, magician. Our magician, he goes by the name Abacadabra. Correct me if I'm saying it wrong, okay?
Yes, Abacadabra. Yes.
Abacadabra. It's an amazing name. And tell me, how many years you've been doing a magician?
I've been doing a magician a very long time, but I became Abacadabra when I had a son about 12 years ago. Instead of abracadabra, I became an Abba. So I became Abacadabra the magician, the Glock magician. And my shows are a little different than you typically see a magician do. But we're going to see that soon, some of the things they do that are a little different than most magicians.
Interesting. So what type of thing? I see here you have a metal bowl, a wooden thing. And what else? What do magicians do? What is the magicians? Is it real magic? Is it like a real magic thing, or is it like hand quicker than the eye process?
Well, it's definitely the hand is quicker than the eye. There's no such thing as real magic. Maybe the time in Mitzrayim, they say that Mitzrayim was the center of magic in the world, but we're not that kind of magician. Everything you're going to see me do is just an illusion, just for the children to have a good time and for the adults as well. But it's not real magic. It's just entertainment for everybody to enjoy and have a great time. And you're going to see soon what I can do.
So children tuning in, you can watch this on the YouTube channel, and you can watch this on the Facebook channel, and you can watch it on JROOT, and you can listen. And if you're listening right now, we're gonna explain everything. What's your name, by the way?
Abacadabra.
Abacadabra.
And
okay, we're gonna.
I don't know what you want to know.
I'm a little bit.
Abacadabra. You know,
Abacadabra.
Yeah,
But we want to know what's his real name. Oh, he doesn't want to say his real name.
It's a miracle to be Abba. By the way, this is Abacadabra. It's unbelievable. So,
that's a miracle itself, right?
Yes.
That's a magic trick. Anyways, okay, so let's see what is some of the things he can do. This abacadabra.
Okay, so
just don't turn me into any frog or any
just remember, children, I'm not going to make your Rebbe disappear. No, many how many times you asked, I don't do that.
Maybe they wanted you the Rebbe to disappear, but we won't do that. Yes.
But see this box that I have up here. When I was in 5th grade, and I had a boy last week that I was doing a show for, and I asked him, what yeshiva is into, and he told me he goes to Munkach. I said, very nice. And who is your Rebbe? I said, Rebbe Gedalia. So I told him when I was in 5th grade, and I went to Munkach, and at Rebbe Gedalia, his eyes lit up, and he goes, really? I go, really? And he says the Rebbe put a box on his table. And he said there's something very precious inside this box, but you can only see it at the very end of the school year. Now, there was a boy in the class, his name was Baruch, because that was my name. And I was very curious what was inside this box. So I took my pencil and I went to the front of the class and I knocked over the box. And I saw inside the box was a little bag and a cup.
So for those who can't see, he's right now holding a little bowl of a plastic bowl and a black bag. So
And-
for those who can't see, it's a black bag.
I was very
And-
curious what's inside this black bag that was so precious that they put on the table. And I spilled it into the cup. And it was just a bunch of black rocks.
Black rocks, interesting. So
I said,
what
Rebbe.
can you do with these black rocks?
That's a good question. I said the same thing. Rebbe, you said there was something precious inside this box. This is just a bunch of black rocks. He said these are not just black rocks. These black rocks are like all of my Talmidim here. And he took them and he poured them into his cup. Said these black rocks are actually coal. Coal. Said this coal's not precious. You make a barbecue with coal. Said, no, you don't understand. The coal is like each and every one of you. And he took this tube that was clear and nothing was in there, and he put it over the cup. He said, at the beginning of this yeshiva year, you're all like the coal. Like the coal.
The coal. The coal is stuff that you light the fire, and it's underneath the fire. That's the coal.
But he says, do you know what? You take coal and you put a lot of pressure on it, what it turns into. So all the children look, what do you mean, what does it turn into? It turns into a barbecue. Say, no.
I have a feeling there's something green in there.
The coal is like each and every one of you here. A little rough in the beginning, but when you get a good yeshiva education, by the end of the school year, you all have turned into precious diamonds.
Wow. Look at that.
Each and every one of you.
I'm going to have my eye on you the whole time.
That would be a good idea. Now, my next effect I'm going to do is in honor of a guest that used to be on the show, I think a little often in the beginning, but unfortunately he passed away. Sadik Zochrono Levracha. He was my neighbor when I lived in Staten Island. And his name was the Facebooker Rebbe,
Facebook Rebbe, yeah, I heard of him.
otherwise known as Rabbi David Winiarz.
Right, right. I actually
He
followed
was
him,
here. He was.
Yes, he was.
It was many programs, many years with us.
And I have here a bag. And you can see what's inside the bag. It's
There's nothing there.
But I'm going to put in a yellow ball inside this bag. And this yellow ball is actually a smile maker. And I think I heard you last week, was it talking about when somebody has a frown?
This the magician vibe.
Wow, it's unbelievable. Such magician. We're hearing a phone vibrate, and we don't have no clue where it's coming from. But
I
magic
think
trick.
you were mentioning something about a frown the other week. And, you know, when somebody's got a frown and you want them to turn that frown upside down, what you do is you smile at them. And when you smile at them, do you know what happens? They start smiling. And they smile at somebody else. And they start smiling as I pull another smiley out. And another smiley, because it's so infectious, even the people in the back of the room are smiling because we're smiling at them.
Yes, smiling is contagious. So keep on doing it.
But, you know, when you invited me to join the show, I decided, you know what? I need to come here to the show because you've got the very biggest smile of all, and it's a giant
big.
smiley
Oh,
to
boy.
come out to represent you.
Wow, that's big. One thing I did say, I mean, I was watching him the whole entire time. For those who can't see, he pulled out 6 different balls and different sizes. And it's funny, I was watching him the whole time, and, you know, I didn't even notice him put it in.
So I was at a show last week, and a boy comes up to me, and he says, there's one place in the world where there's real magic. And I already anticipated what he was going to say next. And I went to my case, and I took out a rope. He goes, there's a place in India when there's somebody called the fakir.
The
Yeah.
faker, he stands. Those who don't know what a faker is, that's the person who stands on needles and like bounces himself in the air.
Well, that is true. And he takes a rope. And okay, again, I already had the rope out because I knew what he was about to say. He takes a rope and he waves his hand underneath it. And he raises his hand over it and it becomes solid and it goes up. And I'm telling him, you mean like this? And he goes, yeah, just like that. I say, but you know what? It's not real. It's just a magic trick, just like I do for you right now.
If there's no metal, how does this stay straight? That's the question.
Well, that's the magic. But it's really just entertain the people for everybody to have a
That's
good
the
time.
trick. If he gave all the answers, everybody would start doing it.
Let me ask you, Abba Kadabra. You know, how it's, you know, as a kids, how is starting? Because this is a kids show. This is talent. I just want to tell the kids how it's working, how it started up. What is your curiosity? What is drive you to do this?
So I started here when I was a little boy with some friends, and I was very lucky. I made Aliyah, and when I made Aliyah, the magicians in Israel, instead of meeting on Friday night like they do here, meet during the week on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday. So I was able to attend and meet other magicians, and some of my friends are very famous around the world. Guy Bavli is a very famous mentalist. My teacher, Roni Shachnai, was the head of the Society for Promoting the Art of Magic. He unfortunately passed away last year, but he really built up the Society of Magicians in England, in Israel, as well as in England. So there's some top-notch magicians and mentalists in Israel, and I'm very lucky to count them as among my friends and to have learned and taught with them.
How old you were?
Well, I made Aliyah when I was 13, and I did high school and the army, and then I decided to find a wife. It would be a little easier to come back here to look. So I came back here after the army and continued with my magic.
So you are a fully professional magician right now, or just?
Unfortunately, the day to make the parnasa as a magician is really on Shabbos. So it's not a full-time job. I would love it to be, but there's just not enough parnasa just during the week. So I do work a different job during the week as well, but I would love to be able to have a full-time career as a magician.
Very interesting.
So what is your, let's say now as a magician, you know, I know that each magician is a specialist. Like, yeah, one is with the cards, one is with the razor blade, sometimes with, you know, with
Fire.
tire. Everybody has his own. What is your specialist?
My specialty is that I'm Abba Kadabra, the Glatt Kosher magician. I cater to the frum community. Everything I do usually centers around something. And, you know, when I'm doing a show, all of a sudden I may ask the kids a question about the parshat of the week. And, you know, I have another trick here that's going to represent Hanukkah. I just need to get some cups from outside. So I have a place to pour to represent Hanukkah. And we're going to see some stuff that I do that's a little different.
Interesting. Very interesting. How did you, so you started when you were how old?
I started, I think I saw Doug Henning on television maybe when I was 8 years old. But then I had some friends when I was about 11. You know, they grew out of it, but I just grew more into it. And like I said, making Aliyah and meeting the other magicians really helped move the career along.
Right. Very interesting. Okay. Continue on with the gorgeous tricks. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Do you, by any chance, have any cups, maybe?
Yeah, we have cups. Machabucha.
This is not only regular cups. These are...
Look at that special cups. Very, very impressive cups.
These are cups from one of the singers that came by a few... how many years ago, Nisan?
No, it's 8 months ago.
8 months old.
Malcha Bracha is a very popular song right now.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think this just came out last year. It's not that old.
8 months old.
So I have here a jug. And of course, we know the Beis HaMikdash. Excuse me.
The Beis HaMikdash, yes.
When it was destroyed, they found one jug with oil. Now, I have water in here because it's going to do the same thing, but you know, it lasted, instead of lasting for just one day, it kept on going.
Mm-hmm.
And going as I'm pouring it into the cup. But, you know, I'm not going to keep on going for 8 days. We get the idea is that I poured 3 times. I poured it out that it was empty, and now it filled up. And that's usually I start my show about Hanukkah and explain to everybody what they saw is just an illusion. It's not real. And that's usually how I start my shows. Then I'll do something for Purim, and I'll pull stuff out of nowhere and this and that and other thing. Now, I do also use some live animals. I didn't bring them with me. I didn't come straight from home today. But like I said,
We
hopefully I'll come back
appreciate
for
the
another
fact that you
appearance.
didn't go home and came straight here. I really, it really is appreciated.
Now this is a section of pantomimes.
Not yet. No pantomimes yet. But what we're going to do is I hope Nisim and my friend are able to watch this because usually I have a larger audience. What I'm going to do is take away
Right.
your ability to read.
My ability to read?
Yes. Now, don't worry. I know you got to continue on with the show when I'm finished, so I'll restore it afterwards. But for right now, I'm going to take away your ability to read.
Read.
And I want you to tell me what you see on the card
Okay.
and not what you think it's supposed to say. And
All
we're
right.
going to ask the audience members what it says afterwards. Okay, so I want you to look at the card and go ahead and tell me what it says.
Ed dot act 10.
Okay, now I know that you went to yeshiva and you got
I went to yeshiva.
yeshiva and
yes.
learned. And right, guys, when you go to yeshiva, you get a very good education, right? You know, maybe that word was a little too easy. So you know what? Hey, I got a little bit of a harder word for you to go ahead and read for us. And go ahead and read what it says.
Conscience.
What does it say? What do you think it says?
Consuni.
Guys, you need to really have a good what to read, be able to read this, a good conscience, right? Let's try maybe one or two more. Let's see how we're doing.
Lakwongliji.
Guys, you know, you really shouldn't laugh at people. It's not nice to be laughingly at them, right? You know, let's try maybe just one more.
One more. All right.
Yeah. Okay, let's try one more. Let's go ahead and read what that says.
Applesauce.
Guys, let's give him a warm round of applause. Everybody
Yes,
clap for him. He's doing
applause.
such a great job trying to read the cards.
Oh boy, I tell you, I hope I really didn't forget how to read.
But like I said, you know, you have to continue the show. So the way I took away your ability to read, I'm now going to restore it. Usually I'll do this on yeshiva vacation for the kids, and I tell them as soon as
it's
school
called-
is over.
It's called mentalism, I believe.
Yes, as soon as school is back over, you'll be able to read again.
Right. So I see you have a cup of water. Is that to drink or what is that for?
Well, I unfortunately didn't bring everything with me, so right now it's just going to be a cup of water to drink. And to
Okay.
remember what happened in the base of Migdash. And I think we'll take a little break for now, and maybe I'll continue just a little bit.
Okay, all right, no problem. Okay, I have what to read about, and okay, so what we just read. Anyways, this past week was Tu B'Shvat, and Tu B'Shvat was is a very big Yom Tov for the trees. Yeah, trees get judged, and like us, trees get judged just like us. And we get judged on Rosh Hashanah, and their Rosh Hashanah is on Tu B'Shvat. Now, there used to be an ancient custom in Eretz Yisrael. When a baby was born, parents used to plant trees in its honor. The tree was planted on Tu B'Shvat following the boy. If it was a girl, this baby, then they planted a different type of a tree called a cypress tree. Now, as these kids grew older, the trees also grew older. So when the children got married, the wood from the trees built their chuppah. So basically, it was their wedding covering. When you go down to a chuppah, they have these 4 sticks. So that was in the olden days, they took those wood for the sticks. Now, as the wood from the 2 trees were joined in the chuppah, so the chassan and kala and the marriage. Now, many hundreds of Tu B'Shvat have been celebrated through the world. Even when we have no place, we still remember and celebrate Tu B'Shvat. Although many could not plant trees because it's not the spring during the 15th of Shvat where they live, they ate the fruit of the trees. So you want to know where the custom of the fruit trees, of eating fruit trees, it comes from this place that you eat the trees. You eat the fruits of the trees because it's not the springtime, so we can't plant any trees. Now, the fruits of the trees they ate were like those in Eretz Yisrael: almonds, dates, figs, raisins, and carob. It was considered a big mitzvah to eat this fruit during Tu B'Shvat and recite a bracha. Now, another story, a story that happened: 2 men were fighting over a piece of land. each one shouted that one was his. Finally, they settled down, and they settled down on the two differences. They called their teacher and agreed to listen what he had to say. The teacher listened carefully to the first person and then to the other. He announced that the question it was about to solve, to whom does the land belong? The men agreed. That is the question. Since the question concerns the lands, the teacher said, well, let's listen to what the land has to say. Huh? Since the question concerns the land, the teacher said again, let's hear what the land has to say. Land has to say? You mean the land talks? I guess she's going to do some type of a magic trick. The two men walked to the teacher to the disputed land. To the men's surprise, the teacher put her ear to the ground and listened, nodding her head thoughtfully. She said, he said, I listened to the land and it says it belongs to neither of you. What? What are you talking about? The land says that you belong to it. So here is the nimshal. The nimshal is like this. Human beings, yes, we own the land. Hashem gave us land. But really, when we get older and we're 120 or older, then we go to the kever and the land is taking control over us. That's the meaning of that. Mr. Abacadabra, you're ready, or you still want me to continue?
Well, I wanted to hear, but I heard something very interesting today about Tu B'Shvat.
Oh, excellent! The perfect timing.
Tu B'Shvat, it's such a cold day this year. Why do we celebrate Tu B'Shvat in the winter? You would think that we'd celebrate in the spring, in the summer when it's warm and the trees are full of the fruit.
Right.
But
That's a good question.
why do we celebrate in the winter?
That's a very good question.
And the answer is because the trees are ready.
Trees are ready.
They're ready. Even though they're not bearing the fruit now, they're ready. Their roots are in the ground, and they're ready to prepare the fruit for us. So that's why we celebrate it in the winter and not in the summer when it's full of fruit. We celebrate when it's ready to give us the fruit.
Wow. That's a very interesting lesson. Okay. So even though, kids, your root is in the ground, really. So don't stay rooted too long, though. Anyways.
Not everybody, I'm sure, is watching us right now.
Not everybody watches, but I'm sure they're going to get to hear it, and I'm going to explain everything that goes on.
Right. So I have a trick now that everybody's going to be able to participate in.
Oh, that's terrific. Boys and girls, if you want the Mr. Abacadabra to do a trick, text us at 347-927-8398 to be a part of it. And you can ask your question on how he did a certain thing. And yeah. All right.
And also, if you want for you, Simcha, to use Abacadabra, it will take his number.
Of course.
Okay.
I didn't even think of that. Nissan took it right out of my head.
Well, that's good. That was going to be my next thing I was going to say, is that if the children will email me, and they can email through JROOT Radio, and if they send their name, their birthday, we'll send something for them that they could do at home.
Oh, wow.
So my email is abacadabramagic@gmail.com. Not abracadabra, abacadabra.
Abracadabra.
ABBAKIDABRAMAGIC.
That's not the place where you emailed me, right?
Yes, it is. Abacadabramagic@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or they can email it to you and you can forward it to me and I'll send everybody something they could do at home.
I'll definitely do that. Let me just Abba. Right, I see it. Baruch Hashem Yom Yom. That's the name of it. Okay. So that
is another email I have.
Yeah.
Too. It's Baruch Hashem Yom Yom @yahoo.com.
Right.
Or abacadabramagic@gmail.com. Either one.
Okay.
They're both my emails.
So that was you.
Yes.
Okay.
Baruch Hashem Yom Yom @yahoo.com or abacadabramagic@gmail.com. Now I want all the children to pick a number between 1 and 9.
Now, children, 1 to 9 only. You don't get a different number. And if you have 9 kids and the 9 siblings in the family, then I guess each of you just pick from 1 to 9. So then all of you get a fair chance in the number picking.
Now, if you're a little younger, you may need to ask a parent to help you with this, or if you've got a calculator, or if you've got a calculator maybe on your phone, if you have a phone. But times that number, whatever number you chose, by the number 9.
9 times 9. All right.
Put those numbers on top of each other and add them together. Take that number and subtract 5 from that number. Now, the number that you got left, I want you to give a letter of the ABC. So, for instance, if you had the number 1, it would be an A. The number 2 would be a B.
And so forth.
And so forth and so on. Now, again, you may need to ask some help from Mommy and Tati to think of a country that starts with that letter.
Listen, I know your country. Eretz Israel. Again?
Well, I don't think that Eretz Yisrael starts with the letter that he's thinking of if he's following along. But I want you now to take the second letter of the country that you're thinking, that you came to, and think of an animal that starts with that letter. Not only what country you chose, but what animal you're thinking about. And they say that there are no gray elephants in Denmark.
Oh, that's interesting. How did you know I was thinking of Denmark, actually?
That's why I'm the magician and you're the radio host.
Yeah. All right. So anything, how did you go into magic? Obviously, you said you watched it, but what get the inspiration? Like, let's say I know almost everybody. I know everybody makes mistakes on stage. So how would you? Let's say you made a trick on stage and it failed. How would you cover that up? What's the?
That's a great question.
How would you not give that up?
And the real answer is that you know that you made a mistake. But the people watching don't know that you made a mistake because they don't know what to expect. So as long as you're able to smile and go through it, and like I said, smiling and entertaining people is really what I enjoy doing. That's really probably what kept me in magic. And, going to a chasana and doing some magic and for the chasana and kala and getting everybody happy and smiling,
I'm sure you heard of Chai Lifeline, right? Chai
Of
Lifeline,
course, I
yeah.
performed for Chai Lifeline. I performed for Giggle. Last year, I was the Rofei Cholim Cancer Society telethon that was broadcast.
Oh.
But is it time for Havdalah yet?
Whoa, my goodness. Where did that come from?
People say I've got some money to burn, but I don't. Kind of empty.
For those who just missed it, there's some fire that just happened to light up in his wallet. Now, I don't know where it came from. And
Well, where did it go? But it seems to be gone.
There's no liquid in there. But where does it come from?
והסנה בוער ולא אוכל.
I thought you said it was Havdalah time, but...
Havdalah time, yes. It's almost Havdalah time. Yeah. Anyways, talking about sick children, we are going to announce some children's to be misfollowed for. Okay. Please be misfollowed for. Menachem Mendel ben Rivka. Ari Lei ben Bela Rachel. Ari Natan ben Chana Zahava. Binyamin Zev HaKohen ben Sharon Rivka. Chaim Meir ben Rina Leah. There's like a list here with almost 50 names. I'm not going to go through them, but I am going to say certain names. Meira Bat Chana, Meir ben Rina Leah. So please, if you can say a few kapitel Tehillim for these sick kids, may they have a speedy recovery.
all the cholim.
And all cholim, of course, B'chol B'nai Yisrael, Yeshua B'Kodev. Anyways, back to our magician tricks.
You just remind me of something. It's my friend, Alicia Aryeh.
Alicia Aryeh
started an organization for kids who are sick in hospitals. It's called Smiles Through Cars.
Smiles Through Cars.
And what he does is he goes to visit different hospitals, dress up as a Batman superhero, and he gets his friends who've got some very nice exotic cars to lend them to him, and he goes to different hospitals and kids that are mobile and able to go out. He gives them rides in fancy exotic cars.
Hmm.
I think for Hanukkah they gave out like 10,000 presents.
Making the world a better place.
Yes,
That's him.
that is him. Yes.
Now that I know that's him, oh wow, he did many things.
He does. His
So,
friends help him.
May he continue his good work. What's his name again?
Alicia Aryeh.
Alicia Aryeh. May you see much
ישועות, ברכה והצלחה, and all the best,
and,
and
all
continue
the-
the best.
yeah, and all the work that you do, you should continue it. You know, boys and girls, for making somebody else happy is one of the making a sick child or anybody who's upset happy is one of the best things to do, and that's actually a big talent to do that. That's not an easy thing when somebody is angry. We actually see in this week's parsha that Aaron HaKohen went over to people and said, he's made up and this one made up, and this one said he likes you, this one said he likes you, so he both made everybody b'shalom and everybody happy. So that's one of the hardest things. Anyways, back to our magic tricks.
Okay, so let me just, I'm jumping all over, just... I
Nisim
don't know
loves to jump,
just-
Nisim, as long as you don't jump up.
Okay, so, tell us a very, I know that you perform in front of a lot of people. Tell us like very, unique stories. That about, and I'm sure that you have a lot of stories about,
So I'll tell you, one of my favorite shows to perform was I was called by High Lifeline to go to do a show in Borough Park. It's for one boy, and his mother gave me a piece of cake to say thank you. And I have to tell you, it was the tastiest piece of cake. I remember it was a chocolate cake, and this is probably close to 30 years ago I'm talking about, and I still remember like it was yesterday. And I did another show a few weeks ago in Seagate, also for a boy I was lucky. He actually had his nieces and nephews come over, so there's more than just one person to perform for, because I do like performing for a crowd. It makes the show more enjoyable for everybody watching.
Right, yes.
And they even let me to a
Without the
funny
crowd,
story.
it does get a little boring, but
But guess what? I can entertain for one person. I can take for 1,000 people. I can do it all. But
as
it's
long as it
it's
makes
more
someone
fun because my
happy,
shows
right?
are interactive. I use volunteers. I use costumes. I dress the kids up. Amazing photo opportunities.
So do you want to give your number out, or you'd rather not?
Sure. Of course I'm going to give it out. It's 718-809-2153.
718
809
809
2153.
2153. And you can call him.
Or you can email
You can email him at abacadabra at
Magic.com.
magic at gmail.com. Yeah.
I got a call a few weeks ago also to come to a show, and the person says, it's just for a person's grandkids, they're coming over, and I suggest, maybe you want to invite some friends,
Mm-hmm.
and she goes, I don't really know if my friend has enough space to have some more kids. Like, okay, like I said, 3 kids, but you know what? Why don't you have her call me and we could discuss it, and I spoke with her, and she said, you know what? That's a great idea. So I'm going to invite some of the neighborhood kids over. And
you can invite them over here as well. We love the kids that coming in here.
And I go to the address, and I use my Waze, which is the Israeli GPS, and I get to this giant house. I don't understand. She told me she barely has room for a few kids. This giant house, the GPS broken or something, but. Sure enough, I go in. This is the place, and we had a great show, and it was just so entertaining. But when I'm looking for this little tiny house that they're telling me about, there's hardly room for a few kids, and it's just a big mansion. I didn't really know what was going on there, but we had a great time. But besides being a magician, when I was little, I wanted to be a pizza man.
A pizza man?
Yes, they got that wooden thing that they put in the oven, and they pull it out, and but you know what? They told me that the oven gets to be 500 degrees.
Yes, that's true.
I'm like 500 degrees. I don't want to be near an oven that gets to 500 degrees. Well, but you know what? I also loved magic at the time, so I just give a little shake, whoop, and the pizza shook off,
Wow.
and we went up with the pizza there.
Kanai Nahara.
But unfortunately, it does look like this may have broken a little, shaken a little too hard, so I'm going to need to do something else for right now. But we do have the pizza, we'll eat. We'll have that after the show. We'll enjoy some nice pizza.
Yeah, real pizza. Great. You know, I'm Milchik, so I can. You need some. Are you hungry?
I'm a flesh already.
Oh, okay. I need some no pizza for you. Okay. Now we have some. Believe it or not, he's holding some cards, and I believe one of them is a picture of me. Anyways,
I don't think so, but you know, there was a very popular game called Angry Birds a few months ago, and I think most of the kids know it.
I believe Angry Birds is the one shooting the birds to the pigs.
But we'll just put the cards out so we can show everybody.
Yes, put them out. I know you're gonna tell me to do. Now I'm gonna read your mind. You're
Of course, I'm going to
tell.
tell you to choose some cards. Of course, it's going to be a magic show if I didn't get to tell you to choose some cards. But like I said, these are not really.
but I know,
regular
but you
cards.
know which card I'm gonna pick already.
Well, that we're going to find out and see. I think there's one here that looks like a king. There's one here that looks like a magician. There's one here that looks like Darth Vader, I think from Star Wars.
Right.
One looks like a chicken. And one looks like an Angry Bird. So I want you to point to 3 of the cards for me.
3 of the cards.
Point to 3 of the cards. Point
Okay.
to them.
With my eyes or with my
I
hands?
think we use our fingers to point. So you're pointing to the one that looks like an Angry Bird. And are you also pointing to the one that looks like the chicken and a king?
Yes.
Okay, very good, very good. I want you to point to 2 out of the 3 remaining cards that we have left. We've got the Darth Vader one, the one that looks like a bomb, and the one that looks like a magician.
Oh, that's a hard one.
I want you to point to, we now have 2 cards left, one that looks like a bomb and one that looks like a magician. I want you to point to one of the 2 cards that we have left. Okay, this is going to be your card.
Okay.
Now, before we started, I put a card out here, and if we take your card and we turn it upside down, we're going to see that the card I put out is a perfect match. Look at that. They match. Both of the cards,
That's
they match.
impossible. No, I can't believe that. Can
Look,
it really
they
be
match.
true?
The backs of the cards, they match. Look at that.
It is unbelievable. The back of the cards match. But I do want to see if the front of the card match.
I'm glad you said that.
And yes, they match. Front of the card match. Yes. And how did you know I was going to choose that? That's called mentalism. That you're able
Yes.
to read what I'm going to do.
But you know what? When I make a prediction, it's not really a prediction. It's a guess. I take a guess of what
You
you're going
take a
to pick.
lucky guess.
The word prediction just means a guess. But
Right.
of course, you know, usually when I do this, people say, abracadabra, we need your business card. But you know, I gave you everything that was in the wallet. But you know what? We just give a little snap. And of
you-
course, we got a business card for
Oh,
you.
do you really?
Of
Look
course
at
we
that.
do.
Oh, wow. So this is Abacadabra Magician. If you can see it. Oh, wow. Can you snap and make some more appear? Or that's like a little bit impossible.
Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. Of course, we have more business cards.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Comes in a whole fancy case. I believe, though, you could do magic in that type of a case, right?
We can do magic with anything. That's why I'm abracadabra.
All right. All right. So tell us, what's some of the other tricks you have in mind? Like let's say you would do a big show. One of the big popular tricks, I believe, was the card trick that some people I remember they throw it up in the air and somehow it lands. It's that card. You know that type of trick?
Well, I do
I'm
that,
talking
and of
about?
course, you know, if any people, you know, their parents listening are corporate sponsors, you know, I do a lot of shows like I said for High Lifeline and Giggle. So if there's anybody who wants to sponsor a nice big illusion, I'm definitely open for corporate sponsors. That's really what I'd like to be doing, to have a few big illusions to go to the
Right.
kids, you know, who are seeking to perform. I actually do a smaller version with a bottle of something that's very famous around the world. And I don't have it here right now, but I usually ask the
Right.
children, you know, there's 2 things all over the world. Actually, excuse me, there's 3 things all over the world. And so usually the kids all scream out, Hashem. I'm like, yes, Hashem is all over the world. And what else?
Well, you got the Torah and you got the mitzvot,
Torah mitzvot, that's part of being with Hashem.
right?
But what else is around the world? Everything, it's all around the world.
We got
Chabad is all around the world. The Bavitch,
Chabad.
they're all around the world, making people put on their tefillin in the morning.
making people happy is
Yes.
around the world as well.
And the other thing is Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, Coca-Cola, yeah.
Nissim
And-
knows it already. Nissim, I think you could become a magician as well.
And so, since I don't have the big illusion where I use a big person, I take a bottle of Coca-Cola and I take to put it in a box, and I take my blade and I push it through the bottle of Coca-Cola, and I separate the top
Oh,
from the
wow.
bottom. And then
I did notice you came in with a box, but yeah.
I came in with a lot of boxes, but that particular one I don't have here with me today. Like I said, hopefully I'll come back another time and do some more effects for you.
Hashem Yisbarach.
And then, we fix the bottle up and we pour a drink and have a l'chaim. But, kids, I just do that for the show. I don't really drink it. What's important to drink is water, not soda.
Water, right.
It's
Water,
not good for your
soda.
teeth. It's just for the magic show. It's good to see. But really, my favorite drink is water. Very important to drink water. Mayim chaim.
I'm Chaim. Right. Okay. What other? I know. Yeah. You have this big, huge black closet over there. Oh, I'm sure there's something good in there. Like,
Well, there
there's
is,
a bunny
of
or
course.
something. There must be like some bird or something.
Well, those like I said, I had to.
You
leave them
probably
home.
have them at home. All right. Okay. That's fine. That's okay. You can't bring everything along with you because otherwise, the animals it's Sabal Chaim. So, yeah. Now, I think I know this trick. I believe it's a coloring trick.
It is. Yes, of course. A lot of the shows that I do for the children are birthday parties.
Birthday parties, yes.
And of course, when I go and you need to have a birthday cake and candles, but I have the children reach up into the air and you can do this from home if you're listening, and if you're watching, you could put your hand up in the air and grab whatever colors you can and throw it at me, and not at me, at the board.
All right.
But,
I think I know what color it's going to turn
But-
into because that's the
but-
color I'm thinking for
but
some reason.
I think somebody just got me over here. So do you have any Visine to help get the red out? But let's give a little snap.
And whoa, look at that. I don't believe it.
Of course,
I mean,
that's how we celebrate a birthday party in color.
I really don't understand how that happens. I mean, I can't understand that. I mean, I was watching this trick. I was watching the whole entire time, and I didn't see you pull a quick one on that one. But
Well,
you
I don't
just
really pull a
pulled
quick
it
one
out.
or anything, but
You just pulled it out, and it became color. And I don't. It's unbelievable.
I did a show like you said the other day, and somebody goes, "I was right in front of you, and I didn't see
That's
anything."
right. That's right.
Well, I said, "Yes, you did. You saw the magic," and that's what it's all about.
Right. What other good stuff do you have?
Well,
I know you carry I know some magicians come with this magic trick. Some magicians come with other types of magic tricks. But what's your favorite trick? I know your favorite trick is not you didn't do your favorite trick yet. That I could tell.
so I'll tell you, like I said, my shows are interactive with the audience and the kids, and really is having the kids screaming and yelling and using up their energy so that they're nice and tired afterwards.
Wow.
Is what the show is about. But of course, one of my favorites is, I'm Abba Kedavra, the Glock Kosher magician. What does it mean to be a Glock Kosher magician?
That means something to do with food because I smell some food.
Well, it's nothing that I have, but
You have Rabbi's askamot.
well, yeah, I've been to chasanas, and rabbis tell me I need to continue. This is what I need to be doing.
Right.
So I definitely have a out there. No tuda yet, but I have a very special device that I use, and I have a volunteer from the audience, and of course when we bring out the chopper,
we have one volunteer.
when I bring the chopper out, of course I need to make sure to use the right kind of knife. Maybe I'll bring just the knife out maybe a little bit later to show you, but
Right, we don't want to get the kids. Don't do me a favor. Don't try these dangerous tricks. Like for example, the one with the fire. He lit a fire in the wallet. Don't try that at home. You'll never figure that out.
Yeah,
Only someone
that's
who's experienced will figure that out.
that's only a Vdala candle. That's not a real wallet like that. Real wallets don't have fire. Do not try that at home.
Okay, now because the time is flying away, and
The time always flies. You know, these we're adding an extra hour.
Okay, yeah, but we have Rabbi Fisher Schechter in the way. I want to ask you, as a kid, if I am interested in what should I do now, and magician, let's make this.
Well, I do offer lessons.
Okay.
But when I started in New York City, there's a few magic shops. One is called Phantasma Magic,
Phantasma Magic. Yeah, I heard of that. My friend of mine went there once.
and there's another one called Tannen's Magic. The two very good magic stores that I started out with. But really, I think my first magic kit is when I was raising tzedakah for school. And I don't know I think they still have it, where if you raise enough tzedakah, you get prizes. So my prize that I got was a magic set.
Uh-huh.
And when I was playing around with it in yeshiva, one of the boys from Beis Midrash came over to me, goes, "Yeah, I had one of these when I was little," and started showing me the magic tricks. And I was in awe. I was like, "Wow, that's incredible! This guy's in Beis Midrash and he's doing magic tricks." I was so impressed with that.
Wow.
So basically, ask your parents to call Abba Kadabra and teach your kids, right?
Yes,
Very
that'll be
interesting.
fantastic.
Repeat the number.
718.
Yes.
Oh boy, let me get the number.
809-2153. It's always better to text, but you can text or
Before
call.
we finish the show, I'll repeat it again. So if you didn't write it down, the number will be repeated towards the end of the show. And yes, we just have about 4 more minutes until the show ends. And unfortunately, the show, every good thing has to come to an end. And sometimes I wish, I'm like out of high school. I'm out of school right now. I'm thinking, kids, use your time well, because sometimes you'll look back and you'll say, why did I do that? Why in the world did I ever do that? Why in the world did I do that mistake? And just one little mistake you could do, and that could actually ruin somebody's life. So yeah, being a magician is not a bad idea. Anyways,
But it's
You
all about
wanna
making
add
people.
something
I think
else?
we offered the Sham Yeshivot to get Abba Kadabra as
Camps, yeshivot,
camps and just get.
weddings, bar mitzvahs.
Yeah, but that's a part of a curriculum. Give the kids a little bit breakdown from Limudei Kodesh and Limudei Chol.
That is correct. And also, when I do a school, I'll add more of an educational element to the show as well, so that where everybody is happy, the teachers and the children.
wow. Okay. All right. Now that was Abba Kedabra. And do you have let's say some small thing, like some small trick that would take, like, let's say, a minute to understand?
Well, let's see what we got.
For those who don't see, he's checking his pockets now.
Well, wait, I think it's in that here. No, wait, no, it was in this one. No. And we're seeing the
All
lights, and we're
right,
cycling the
wow.
lights, because like we said,
This- now-
Hanukkah is a miracle
Now
of lights.
this is unbelievable. He has some lights over here, and I have no clue where in the world did they come from. I mean, it looks.
The screen is gorgeous.
Yes, the screen is gorgeous on the video. I could tell, and I'm gonna be watching it later. Yeah, and I don't know what that was, but that looked like it was
Well,
his fingers.
Like I said, Hanukkah is the miracle of lights, and we need to be Or the Goyim. We need to be a light unto the other nations. So you see, my tricks, they go around the Jewish
good-
themes, and of course we
Yeah.
got Purim coming up.
Good, they didn't use Tushman trick. You put good like
Right, Tushman trick.
Apple in New Year.
Okay, all right, okay. Anyways, for those who want to hire Mr. Abba Kedabra, you can email him at. Don't tell me, I'm gonna look it up. You can email him at abbakadabramagic@gmail.com. Abba Kedabra magic@gmail.com, or you can
Email
yeah.
Baruch Hashem Yom at yahoo.com.
Do you have texting?
I do, yes. You can
Okay,
text me.
so
I
you
prefer
can
text.
either call or text 718-809-2153. Anyways, we have 2 minutes left. Unfortunately, 2 minutes left.
809.
2153.
Okay. So
Anyways, we have 2 minutes left, and I'm going to say what was the parsha question, this week's parsha question. And of course, if you have Mazel Tov, please send them in. 347-927-3279. Oh, yes, and I believe I had some text last week about there's going to be a winner for this brand new Naki radio that's going to be coming out. And yes, if you want to win this Naki radio, you better text in the answer to 347-927-3279. Or if you want me to do graphics, I could try to do graphics. But yes, I do graphics. So you can email me at newkishronihour@gmail.com. And the question is, Yisro had 7 names. Why was one of his names Yeser? We want to know his name, Yeser. Why was it called that? There was a very important reason to it. And as a matter of fact, it had to do with this week's Parsha. Anyways, for all boys and girls, this has been the Kishroni Hour. Official Schechter follows me. Don't go away.
and just remember tonight we
have Rabbi Yitzi.
Erbs.
Rabbi Yitzi Erbs is gonna
With
take
Yossi
over.
Pomacher.
He's gonna
He's
do
going to
his
be a
own
guest,
show.
a guest, JROOT Besimcha. JROOT Besimcha and
JROOT
this
Besimcha is
Besimcha
gonna
from
make
9
everyone
o'clock.
happy with Rabbi Yitzi Erbs.
Okay.
That's right, Yitzi Erbs. We
And-
love
and-
him. And yes, we love Yossi as well.
Yes, we love Yossi, of course.
Very good. All right, that has been the Kishroni Hour, and Reb Official Schechter follows me. Don't go away with Reb Port and Reb Yitzi Erbs. Make sure you stay tuned to the radio.
The first Jewish-only radio player that's not key.